Most online gurus will tell you that there's hundreds of different things that is keeping you back from achieving your goal. And they're doing that just to sell you on their course and their coaching program. But in this video, I want to explain to you the one simple thing that's probably preventing you from achieving the goals that you have. If you want to get to your first 10K a month, achieve a life of freedom and be able to start traveling and be remote and make money from wherever you are, from your laptop, this is the one principle that you need to have in place to get there. And if you're not living the life that you want right now, it's probably because you're not doing this one simple thing. And this exact same principle and same concept that took me from about 2.5 years ago being dead broke, having literally $500 to my name, living with my parents back in Sweden and failing 4 different businesses, to now having built a life of complete freedom, where I'm having 2K days. I'm been able to be in Marbella in Spain, I've been in Colombia, I've been in Costa Rica, travel all over the world at 22 years old, while making over 100K per year consistently as a 22-year-old. And this is not going to be a specific business model I'm going to try to push on you or some course I'm going to try to sell you. This is a fundamental principle for success. And all this comes back to how you operate. So for you to understand this, I need to give you a bit of a backstory here, because the thing you need to understand is that how most people make decisions and how you probably live your life right now, and the reason why you're not where you want to be, you're not making the 10K a month yet, you're not having the life of freedom that you want. It's not because you're in the wrong business model, it's not because you're pursuing the wrong opportunities, it's because how you think, how you make your decisions. Because how you make decisions is the thing that creates everything that you have in your life. Which also means that if you make decisions following the wrong type of framework, if you're not making decisions in the right way, you will never achieve success regardless of how hard you work and things like that. And there's a specific way that I want to talk about decision making in this video. And it's basically about just understanding that the only way that you actually make true progress, the only way you actually really level up in life quickly, is by being willing to make decisions that are not correct, being willing to make uncertain decisions that are not guaranteed to work out. And I see this so much with people, and this was me 2 years ago, and still to this day sometimes I fall into this trap of basically making decisions from a place of trying to analyze everything, trying to perfect the plan to success. Okay, so I have 3 different business models I'm looking at. I'm gonna plan everything out, analyze all the different options, and pick the perfect option for me. That way of making decisions is keeping you broke. And here's why. The thing you have to understand is if you're constantly analyzing different options, you're trying to perfect the plan. Number one, the perfect plan never exists, because things never ends up being like you expect them to be. You can sit down for literally the next year, try to perfect the perfect business plan for your online business ideas, whatever it is. But once you start, things are not going to go as planned. Some things might work better than you expect, some things might not work at all. You're probably going to end up in a very different position than you're in right now. For example, for me, when I got into entrepreneurship in the first place, when I started my first business, which was dropshipping, and then I got into trading, and then I got into Amazon FBA, and then eventually I ended up doing a marketing agency for about 2 years. Those things just led one thing into another. I started dropshipping, and then I found out about a Swedish guy that was doing marketing agencies. I joined his coaching program, and through his coaching program, I made some money with a marketing agency, but I kind of failed with that long term. But I got into opportunity where I was able to start working in remote sales through that. Everything is aligned as a result of me just taking action. And that's the thing I want you to understand, because I see so many young guys that are just scared to just do something, They're scared to just take action on something, just move forward. And that's the biggest thing that's gonna hold you back, because you need to understand that the biggest key to success, if I could go back in my own life, the only thing that I would change is I would take more imperfect action. Because the best thing you can do as a young guy, if you're 16 to even 30 years old, is taking risks, stepping into uncertainty, and just taking action on your goals, following your intuition. Because analyzing things, whenever I sit in indecision, and I sit with a decision that I don't know what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reflect on this for a couple of days, or a couple of hours, or a couple of weeks, whatever it is, that is the enemy. You need to understand that indecision and sitting and reflecting things is the worst thing that you can do, because when you're indecisive, when you're analyzing options, you feel good about it. You're sitting down, okay, I'm this smart guy, I'm gonna figure out what's gonna be the best path to my goal. And I fall into this trap a lot as well. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect in this, but you feel like you're productive, you feel like you're making progress because you're analyzing 2 different options, which is gonna be the best business model, or which is gonna be the best niche for me to go into. But in reality, you're not doing shit. Because you analyzing, you're just gonna learn something from doing that. And if you don't know which option to go for, you're probably not even in a position where you can figure it out by just analyzing. The only way you would figure it out is by trying one of those options and then figuring it out as you go. And this is very painful because like a lot of people, especially if you're more like analytically, kind of like how you think and how your brain works, it's very hard to operate in a way where you're more like intuitive and just like move forward with stuff and take action on stuff. But it's a change that has to be made. And if you ever wonder why like there's a lot of people out there that seem to be less intelligent than you, that seem to be less analytical, that are still making way more money than you're making, it's because of this exact reason I'm telling you about right now. It's because they're willing to take action, they're learning stuff. While you're still analyzing, you're still trying to like figure out the perfect plan, they've already gone out and they've already taken action on their goals. And when I started operating this way, I'll give you a framework of like how I make decisions at this point of my life and how it's been working out for me. But when I changed how I make decisions, instead of looking from a place of like analyzing opportunities, waiting, trying to feel good about decisions, trying to perfect the plan to goals, and it's like sitting in indecisiveness. And I changed that over to just like moving forward all the time, making quick, effective decisions, and being okay with things sometimes not working out, but it's like following the process to eventually get to my goal. When I started making that change, like my life got so much, not only just like simpler and more enjoyable because I wasn't like constantly just having this like unmade decisions in my head, but I also started making more money, started seeing more success and also more fulfillment as well. Because think about this, like think about the version of yourself that's like constantly indecisive, you know, you have a decision that you need to make and you push it off, you wait a day, you wait a week, and you don't make a decision, you reflect a bit more, you analyze a bit more, and then the opportunity all of a sudden is gone, you know, it's past. And then you're like, okay, I guess it wasn't meant for me. I see this a lot, like, and that was me before as well. It's like, okay, I have this opportunity, it could be the perfect thing for me to do, but I'm not sure, so I'm gonna analyze a bit more, and then all of a sudden it disappears, and then you think, okay, I guess it wasn't meant for me at all in that case. You know, it wasn't the right thing because it disappeared. But in reality, that thing could have changed your life if you took action on it, but you will never know because you passed an opportunity. If you move through life this way, you'll convince yourself that opportunities are not meant for you, and that, okay, this thing was not meant for you, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, you're just missing out on all these opportunities, you know? If you missed out on like whatever it was like Bitcoin a couple of years ago, you missed out on like drop shipping when that was the big thing, you're gonna keep on missing out on these things until you're willing to step up and take action. And the thing is, you need to be okay with things maybe not working out. The first time you try something, it's probably not going to work out. But your success depends on you trying, because the only way that you will level up, the only way that you will improve as a person and eventually get to your goals is by trying. And that's the crazy thing with like online like entrepreneurship in general and like business and things like that, and like getting to a new level in your life, is you always have two different options. You can stay in what you're comfortable with right now. Is keep doing whatever you're doing right now. If you're studying, if you're in a job, if you're making 5, 10K a month online, you can keep doing that. That's option number one. And then you know what's gonna happen. Option number 2 is you try to get to the next level. You push yourself, you do something that's scary, uncomfortable to get better. And the worst case is you fall back to your current level. And that's the thing you need to understand. That's the mindset shift I wanted to make. It's like the worst case scenario if you try something, the worst case scenario if you push yourself, is you fall right back down to your current level. That's the worst case scenario. You're not gonna end up in the streets most likely. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you're probably not gonna end up in the streets because you have internet. And you probably have like maybe a family that's supporting you. At least I know that I have. So like the worst case scenario is really not that bad. Which means that the worst thing that you could do is not taking action on your goals at all and letting fear dictate your decisions and sitting in decisiveness. I had this guy that I was speaking with a couple of weeks ago I was talking with him about joining my coaching program about like 6-7 months ago. And at that time I was talking with like multiple different guys. I had some guys that obviously joined my program and that I've been working with that are getting great results. And there was this one guy that held off. He was kind of too scared to take the step of doing it. And I was talking with him a couple of months later, like just a few weeks ago, and he was literally just still pondering the exact same decision that we've been talking about 6 months previously. So his life, like obviously some things have changed in his life, but like that thing, he's just been indecisive about it to a point where he hasn't made any progress. Whereas other people that have joined my program, or like me, or like a lot of other people out there, they've tried stuff, you know. I have multiple guys come into my program and they've literally started making like their first 5K a month during this time period and completely changed their life. But this guy, because he's so scared of making the wrong decision, he's so scared of like, what if this doesn't work out? I need to analyze it a bit more. Because he's so scared of making the wrong decision, he's ended up in the position that he doesn't want to be in. So hopefully this kind of drives the point I'm making home here. It's like the worst thing you can do is being indecisive, because if you're indecisive because you're scared of making the wrong decision, you will end up in the position that you don't want to be in. So the best thing you can do is taking action, because the risk really isn't there. So really, I want to encourage you, because you have what it takes, man. Like if you're watching this video this way through, you have an attention span that's like better than most people, because we're 10 minutes into this video. And you don't just click over to the next video. Like understand that you need to make a change. You need to actually step up and take action on the goals that you have, take risks. And it's something I'm doing moving forward as well, in terms of a lot of different things in my business and things like that. I mean, it's taking more risks, because I'm 22 years old. I'm very young still. And probably you're watching this as well, you're pretty young. So you need to take a lot of risks in your life if you want to achieve greatness in your life. Because imagine when you're 80, 90, 100 years old and you're on your deathbed, do you want to look back at your life knowing that you took all the risk, you did everything did not work out, but you push yourself to get to your goal? Regardless if it worked out or not, like, do you want to know that you did everything in your power, or do you want to look back and see, okay, this guy was indecisive, he was not willing to make decisions, he was not willing to push himself, he was always in his comfort zone, he's taking the easier path, and he's being okay with kind of like average life? Seriously ask yourself that question. And hopefully that's going to spark a fire inside of you to actually like do something and actually get out of this zone of just being indecisive, because nothing happens in there. Indecision is the enemy. Write that down. Remember that. If you want help with any of these things and get the plan and join my coaching program to like get the blueprint of learning remote sales, getting in a sales role in the next 30 to 60 days, and starting to make money online, if you want that help one-on-one from me, click the link down below and you can join my inner circle, where I help you one-on-one to get you everything you need to succeed in remote sales. The training, role playing, giving you feedback, the scripts, everything you need to land a role as well, giving you unique connections with businesses, and helping you crush it in the space. Thanks for watching. Any questions, DM me on Instagram or leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Keep crushing it. Let's get it.